Hello, everybody. Sorry, this is a little later than normal. 8:45. I know. I was aiming for 8 today, so 45 minutes late is better for me than normal, but still not perfect. Sorry, my hair is all messy. It's all messy, baby. Got a haircut today after like a month and a half of not getting one, so my head feels like 5 pounds lighter at this point. Oh my gosh. I don't mean to complain about it, but I'm gonna. In Florida right now, oh my god, I feel like my mic is way too high for some reason. Hold on, I gotta lower this just a little bit so it's not peaking as much. Stop playing peekaboo. Maybe that sounds a little bit better. In Florida right now, it was the last like week or two, we've had like days where it was down to like 38 degrees. At night, it snowed in the Panhandle and stuff like that. Which I'm from New England, you know what I mean? And anybody knows me, you know how much I love to be cold. And I would gladly switch places with anybody out there because I love to wear layers. I love to be wrapped up in comfy blankets, sweatshirts, all of that stuff. That is all I want in life. I want it so desperately. This planet is only going to get hotter as I do as I age. Just kidding. Well, not really. I do get literally hotter because I'm getting too tired. But regardless, it was like under 50 for a couple of days this week. And then I know this is going to sound like complaining. And technically it is. Like today the high was like 60 maybe. Maybe it got a little higher than that. Or I think it was like 63 or something like that. And tomorrow it's 73. So that might sound like good, great weather, but like it's that right in between where it's like in the sun, it's really warm and like too warm to really wear like pants for me. I feel like it's like shorts weather. And then, but it's one of those where, if I'm wearing shorts, it's like the second you step into the shade, it's cold. So it's sort of that like, it's that right in between, like you can't put the air conditioner on, but you can't put the heater on. And I hate, that's the area where it's just, you're like trapped in the middle where you're just like, I just need one up or one down. And it's just stuck right there. And I've had that kind of all day. I need to like fix the lighting. Gang, I don't know how many, I'm not saying I'm not going to keep doing these Monday things, but I think it's going to have to be like maybe an every other week thing or something like that. It's just a lot. I'm not complaining about doing this. I love being able to do this. I love seeing you pop in here. I love seeing, Dave, Jay, all of you guys in here. Joseph's in here. Trey's in here. The Swag Panther herself. Diane. It's just like, I need to figure out my situation in this loft. Like it's making me feel very claustrophobic right now. It's just like I can't get everything right. There's just not enough space to really rework this. And the last couple of days I've been kind of sitting and thinking about how I could rearrange it and what I need to get rid of. And I'm ready to just like get rid of everything. I know the last video I did was an unboxing of a Ghostbusters trap. And you're like, you have cool stuff. Well, guess what? Nowhere to put it. So I don't even know why I have it. I know why I have it. It's that one I will hold on to. That's like being like somebody gifted you a nice bureau and you're going to keep it forever. But I need to like get rid of so much of this stuff. I need to just like consignment shop or eBay or whatever. I'm feeling so weighed down right now. It's insane. And then like on top of that, it's like the stuff I want to do where it's like I want to get better lighting or I want to do this, I want to do that. I don't know what is going on right now lately. But I seem to have like the touch of death with electronics. Don't listen, computer. Everything I touch, I'm sure I told this story before, but at D23, I was like literally walking out the room to go film, to film the convention and stuff, and my like Sony A7S III started like cycling, like it was turning off and turning on and turning off and turning on and turning off and turning on. And it turns out there's like a factory error in some of these cameras, but I've had the camera for like since it came out essentially. So I think it's at least 2 years. I think I've had this model of the camera. But it's a thing where like it's trapped in that cycle and it like can't go out. Like you have to send it away, but there's no guarantee they can fix it. And then when they do fix it, it's like a lot of money. Like it's almost the price of the camera. So it's like, when I get a new camera. So like that happened, and I was like, oh geez, of course it'd be me, because my last Sony camera, the like hard drive seized in it. And then I was like recording a video the other day, and I was like, oh, I'll put my microphone into my camera, and the microphone from the camera, like the mic and the so like it's a kind of mic like this kind of a thing has on the bottom. Oh, you can't really see. It's like it goes into the shoe, like the hot shoe on top. And they're Sony made and everything like that. And so you're talking and it looks fine, and then all of a sudden like halfway into the video, it just, that's what it sounds like. And then it goes back to the voice and then down to the voice. So now I'm like, well, I don't think it's the microphone. I think it's the shoe in the camera, because I'm now using the old camera, somebody else's camera who doesn't work with me anymore. And that camera is, I feel like, more beaten up than the one I had. And it's just one of those where it's just like, oh my God. And like I could get a new one, but it just seems like every time I buy new stuff, just nothing works the way it promised anymore. And maybe I'm just at that age now where it's starting to be like, oh my God, in the old days. But technology has come an incredible way, you know, and I'm all about it, especially anything that allows people to sort of capture, you know, the precious moments, not precious moments, the dolls. That was a weird phrase. To capture special moments, I mean, and to really put that power of filmmaking into the common person's hand. I think that is a beautiful thing, you know, and I love it. And it's just sort of that thing that comes with it, I guess, is this whole business. So if anybody out there, I do see some recommendation. I saw a recommendation pop in here. Mike is talking about the Panasonic Lumix cameras. I feel like I know somebody who has one of those, and I've seen people with them and stuff, and they look good. And I don't know. It's like 2 Sony cameras in a row, but Sony, I do think, does make a very good prosumer like camera thing, but it's also one of those where I was like, I think it's so irresponsible for me to invest in a new camera like that right now for some reason. But I still, knock on wood, I still have my little, it's not for like filming movies, but it is for like vlogging and stuff. I have my little, my DJI Pocket 3, which I love. And I would like to point out that I had that pretty early on. Like I was like the really early adopter of that. And then lo and behold, I bet you go to a theme park or somewhere like that, new hotel open, every single person has that camera now. And there's a part of me where it's like, oh, everybody's got it. But at the same time, I'm like, it's kind of a beautiful thing, because think about it. I'm going to think about it in terms of this, instead of thinking like, oh, every asshole with one of these cameras. No, every awesome person, every person out there now has that, this affordable, really nice looking camera that makes things a little bit smoother and easier for people, is now in so many people's more hands, and so many more people are getting to find, to try out this sort of thing that brings them happiness and joy. And I look at it like that, where I'm like, okay. I actually like going now, like Festival of the Arts at Epcot just happened, started like last weekend. And I went to do that for work, but it was like watching everybody around who has it, and not in a judgy way, just watching. And I like seeing the people with the camera. I like seeing people just kind of doing that things that brings them happiness. The ones who look happy, the ones who are just like, because I see those too. Who you know the type. Everybody knows that type who they're like, if I can't look happy while I'm busy. And I'm just like, I hate that. I hate that sort of mentality. I do feel like that's a really bad like societal thing. We've all been there. We've all had the bosses that have made us feel that way or told us that baloney and all that stuff. And it's like, no, man, come on. You can look happy. You can enjoy yourself. But yeah. So anyway, I'm feeling a little like anxious, I guess, today. Well, I was crazy. I've been so good for so long. Yeah, I'm anxious specifically about this. Oh my god, I didn't even tell you the other thing. So the touch of death. Sorry, those stories. There was another one. Is that I have this like 16 to 35 millimeter lens, which is my, like, if anybody wants to know, that's my go-to DSLR lens, because I love. First of all, I find that you're going to use like a wider wide angle lens. I know that a lot of you on the iPhone might not like the 0.5 or anything like that, but it's definitely, it's crazy to me. The 0.5, I feel like, could be the most used lens on the camera. However, it adds, like, it's not as good in the low light, so it really gets grainy really fast, and it loses a little bit of that extra, like, saturation and things like that. Regardless, I love that this camera does have a wide lens. I also broke somehow the glass on this. I'm pretty sure it's just the screen thing, and I need to get another one of those. Oh my gosh, the list of things you need to get. Adults, what is it? What is being an adult? So I use a 16 to a 35. It's an f4. So, you know, it's like, it's not bad. It's not, you know, it's a fixed, oh my God, I'm having a brain thing right now. The thing that measures light is the fixed aperture, the f-stop, whatever, lens. So, okay, so for people who might not know this, because Lord knows I didn't used to know this, there are lenses, like the lens that will come with a camera. If you've ever gotten like one of the, a Rebel, Canon Rebel was given out a lot, a Nikon D5100, those were given out a lot. A couple of years back, like maybe like 10 years ago, they were very popular Christmas gifts. It's called a kit lens that comes with those sometimes, but it has a variable aperture inside of it. So it'll say like 3.5 to like 6.5. And so like 3.5. So that's why so let's say that was a 3.5 and it's an 18 to 24, 18 millimeters to 24 millimeters. It means the camera that's going to look best is the 18. Because then when you get to the 24, that's going to have a 6.5 f-stop on it, and it can't go lower than that. So in broad daylight, when it's really well lit, it's still going to look great. You know, it's going to look really good. It's going to look really nice. But the second it starts to dim, the light starts to get dim. If that f number is higher, it means that's the lowest that camera can go without increasing like ISO or something, and that starts to add grain, and you start to lose contrast, you lose sharpness, things like that, and it just becomes like those videos we've all seen of like UFOs flying around and stuff. You really want to invest in a lens that has that fixed like f-stop. So like an f4 is it's pretty decent. Usually that's like the solid one. The variable ones will be cheaper, but the ones that are like 2.8 and below, those are the good. That's like a good lens. That would be considered, I think, like a low light lens. Although I think low light would be like 2 and under. But I would consider it like a low light lens, because it means like I could take pretty decent pictures of you like in a very poorly lit parking lot, and it'll look nice and sharp and crisp. Those are unfortunately more expensive, but I think the next lens I would invest in is a new 16 to 35. The whole point of this is my go-to lens has been for the last like 9 years that I've had one of these Sony DSLR cameras. 10 years this year, I think. Did I get the DSLR in 2015? Might have been 2016. Either way. So it's a full frame camera too. That's the other part of it. So it's not an ASPC lens. There's two types of lenses. So a full frame is like whatever. It has to do with the camera. So a full frame camera can't really use ASPC lenses. It just is going to have like this cropping on the outside of it. So you'd have to like edit the photo and everything like that. Whatever. Regardless, I was at Hoop-de-Doo a couple weeks ago to film it, and I went to point my camera up at the sign to get a thing of the sign, and there's this black circle in the camera, and I'm like, and it's in the 16 millimeter, and so like when I zoom in, it was gone, but in the 16, and I'm like, I've never seen this before. So I asked somebody who I think knows a little bit more cameras about me, and they're like, something, and there's nothing on my sensor or anything like that. I think. So the lens is made up of pieces of glass. I think one of the pieces of glass moved in the lens. And I was like, well, I can't use this anymore. And those are like, I think I found like a refurb one that for like $400. I'm just like, I don't know. It's one of those, sometimes you just sort of start to feel like you're like, it's the thing and it's not as new anymore. Not new, but you're just like, I'm also feeling like I'm not making good decisions when it comes to that stuff lately. So now I'm second guessing myself on all of that. And it's like, oh, do I get this? I don't know. But life throws us challenges and we figure out how to navigate them, right? I am going to Chicago this weekend. I'm going to go film a project. And I think I posted about it on my Instagram story, but the website that my friend RJ and I started together, the Ampliverse, we are officially moving into I feel like this is the first in a new phase. We started out with this an idea that it would have it'd be a space for people who wanted to write could come on there and write whatever they want to write. We could, we'd have a YouTube channel where anybody wants to make a random video or something like that. We could have a YouTube video. If you wanted to make a podcast, we could help you get you started with a podcast. So, we make sure the feeds are working and the YouTube videos are working. You do all the stuff for yourself, but it's just, you get to be a part of a community, part of a network. And we are officially stepping into the next, I didn't tell RJ I think about it like this, but maybe we did talk about it, I don't know. But I think about it as like phase 2 was we would then move into TV, theater, TV, and film. And so we're gonna hit phase 2. So we're gonna film something this weekend. And I don't know how much of this I was supposed to talk about and how much I'm not, but I am allowed to talk about it, and I don't have this feel for it, but it's called Eat Cute. I have hold on. Where's my binder? I put my binder over here. Hold on. God, talk about a day I needed a drink, and I forgot to make it before we got started. So this is my nerdy little film. Every time I start a film project, and I haven't done this in I think the last time I worked on a film project was like a short film in 2015 or like the beginning of 2016. And I was terrified I was going to get in trouble for it at that time because of my previous employer. But you can see there's a little script, everything in here. I got my script breakdown pages. I do the binder so that I have all the, the script breakdown, all that stuff in one place so I can access it pretty easily. But I am going to work. We had a meeting. We've had a couple of meetings. We've done a read through. We have a very talented cast working on this that I can't wait to get out there. They've been in rehearsals all this month. We did a table read before Christmas, and it was, I'm telling you, these people in this thing they're so talented. They are so talented. I'm blown away. This is the first thing I feel like I'm going to work on where it doesn't feel like a student film. If that makes sense, it's the vibe of it is very oh wow, this is good. This is well written. It's supposed to be they call them BLs. It's RJ and his husband. They love this sort of I don't know the word for it. These Korean shows. They like all that stuff, and I like that they found their passion and love for it there and everything. And they wrote this sort of really nice little Filipino, these two Filipino boys falling in love in here. And it's maybe it ends well, maybe it doesn't. You'll have to watch it. But yeah, this is step 1, and it just feels, so they asked me to come and help film it. So I can't wait. I was coming no matter what as the other, I don't like the word owner. Co-creator. That's the word. I was like, what do we call ourselves? Co-creator. everyone owns the Ampl. Everyone's a part of the Ampliverse. So I don't like play that game. You know, it's like that whole thing. But yeah, I'm so excited to be doing this. RJ's he's a good writer, and working with him, his husband Adam, and this whole group of people, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I am anxious about it, and I think that's probably some of what's going on, is that I don't feel as far along as I could be. I mean, we have our shot list down for yeah, Joseph, okay, in the chat knows what I'm talking about. Boys Love. I got into them with a Thai series called Together. Yeah, okay. Okay, so it's a thing, I guess. I just didn't know. I know they do like watches and reactions and stuff like that on the Ampliverse YouTube channel, and they do pretty well, and they found like a really good community of people, and they watch them all. And so I just think it's really cool that they have this sort of a thing. And that's the whole point. The Ampliverse was all designed about people creating space for people to kind of revel in whatever fandoms they wanted to without sort of hate or toxicity or any of that garbage. It was just supposed to be just this like open space of like love and support, and just like, you know, one of those things. Maybe you've never seen it, maybe you've seen it, you've seen every single thing, maybe you've seen every single thing 1,000 times, maybe you've seen everything once, whatever. It's somewhere for people to just kind of enjoy the thing they love. Again, I feel like so many spaces have been taken from so many people, and little did we know when we started this. It launched in February of, so we're coming up on our 4-year anniversary. Oh my God, the 4-year anniversary is like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Hold on. It's on Tuesday. It's next Tuesday. It's 1 week. Oh, so we'll be kind of together again for this. So that's nice. But sorry, I was like, you gotta be kidding. I thought it was gonna be the day after I left, but it's like 2 days later. It is, we couldn't have predicted, maybe there was something in the air, that 4 years, you know, on from 2020, because that's when we started talking about it, was in 2020, is that we would, a lot of those spaces, you know, these like, whether it's social media and whatever it is, kind of, I feel like have been co-opted, and, you know, it's however you feel about anything, is definitely, I don't want somebody curating my stuff. I don't want someone, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it, this whole like, it being told what I'm supposed to like. You like whatever you want, baby. And that's the thing. And I don't want anyone out here. And it started because of the Star Wars. It was really like Kelly Marie Tran and everything that she went through. And I was thinking about that. And I was just like, this kind of sucks that this happens. And like, this isn't really fair. And like, everyone gets told that Star Wars is one thing. And I'm like, Star Wars can be anything. You know what I mean? And it's just that thing where it's like, now it's like the same thing with like Doctor Who. And I love Doctor Who. But like, I haven't seen any Doctor Who before David Tennant, and everybody has a different favorite Doctor, and I love Power Rangers, and it feels that same way. It's like people put up all these barriers, and they get very gatekeepy and all that stuff, and I was like, no, we're not doing that here. We're not doing that here. And if you want to do that, this ain't the place for you. Go somewhere else. So I politely, obviously not rejecting way, because it is a place where it's like, I want people to be able to find themselves in the things they love. You know what I mean? It's whatever. However you connect to your fandom, we'll get you there. So anyway, it's funny, not funny, but it's kind of inspirational that you know, one of the people that started this thing found, because when we started it, had never watched any of this. They were only just into I feel like I'm speaking on his behalf and they shouldn't be doing that, but who sings Butter? Who was that? And it was the boy band, and they had to disband because they all had to go to the army, but their followers are called Army. It'll come. I know there's a delay in the chat. That's why I was like, I know it's going to come up. I could just look it up and it'll be faster than anybody telling me, but I know by the time I get to it, it's like BTS. I got to it before I saw it in the chat. Okay, I feel better. It's that thing when you like go to start typing in IMDb and that process makes you remind it. Anyway, so it's funny that one of the people who helped make this thing ended up finding something that they connected to more than anything else, and then you know, just now creating something from that. I just think is so symmetrical and beautiful and amazing, and I'm so happy to have been included in this, and I really appreciate them for thinking of me and asking me to come along on this journey or something like that. So I'm excited. I'm hopefully I'll be doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you'll be able to catch up with and everything like that. And if anybody is interested, I know, like, follow along. A lot of it is budgeted from like the Ampliverse and I believe RJ's own pocket. So there is a GoFundMe, and I'll if I can get him. Actually, I'm just gonna text him right now while we're doing this. Send me the GoFundMe. Like, I can tell he's like probably. I'll put it in the description of this video if anybody. Feel free to share it or whatever. And there'll be more like materials. Oh no, I can't. I was like, I think I can share some of the images we did, but it's the wrong size format. Remember, this thing does that stupid, it does that dumb, like if I put it in here, it's going to zoom in. And I can't figure out how to get it to that. But hold on, can I just make this like small? Nope, shrinking the wrong thing. Okay, anyway, this is the poster that's been made, but I'm sharing it. It's fine. Now I can't get rid of this poster. Great. I lost the window that does it. Oh, Lord, help me. Help me. Anyway, these two actors right here, they're very talented. Tanya and Rich on the left there. Anyway, let me go through this chat. I'm sorry, I've been neglecting the chat a little bit. I've been lost in my own business. Hold on. So now I'm gonna make sure I move all this stuff out of here. Yeah, I hope everybody's been doing well. I know it's been like kind of crazy, and I'm happy to see you all in this chat in here. Oh, Joseph went to Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom for the first time. Holy moly, that's a trip. Oh, you were here for the cold weather too. Oh, I saw D had a question. Yeah, that's the thing. WDW Explore and Chill. So that's one of the things where I was talking about the weather earlier, circling back to that up and down. It is one of those where you're like, my God, this is the perfect weather for people to get sick in. It's tough. You got to be careful. You got to take, make sure you're taking your vitamins. Make sure you're bundling up when you go outside. Make sure you're washing your hands. Make sure you're coughing into your armpits. Move away from those other people that aren't. They're gross. Trey wrote, it was gray and gloomy, but I read, it was gay and gloomy here in Atlanta. And I was like, why is the gays making it gloomy? Did I decide to stay in Orlando? Oh my God, no. No, I don't want to stay here. I'm here. I'm here to finish what I started, I guess, whatever that may mean. And no, I don't want to start. I don't want to stay here. I don't know where to go. That's the problem. I can't. It's the settling on where to go thing. Lord help me. It's impossible. And here's the scariest part. It's going to be even more impossible. So much faster than I'm worried I won't even be able to get out. But I keep. I don't know. I don't want to be like, I'm putting all my eggs in one basket with the Ampliverse, but it is a hope of mine that this, maybe I'm on a journey right now. I mean, I like what I do too. It's just like, obviously, I think it's finding the middle ground of liking what you do for work, but then liking where you live, right? So like, I like what I do for work. I don't really like where I live. I like but then the flip side of this is, okay, I like the things I like. I do this thing like this cost benefit analysis a lot of times, where it's like, I'm definitely wound up and hyped up into my own negativity sometimes, and I feel like I've been doing good with therapy and kind of like pulling this apart, sort of slowly and carefully, and it's just about finding those tools to like reframe things. And so I do a thing where it's like, I don't want to be like, I don't regret my time here. I do want a new adventure, a new area, a new place to live in. I definitely would feel different, I think, if I'd ended up getting into a house when I had tried to get into a house, but it doesn't seem like a reality now, and maybe that's for the best. Maybe this is all it was meant to happen, or whatever. I don't know that I always believe that, but maybe it was the path that you were meant to take is the path that you are on. You know what I mean? But I do feel like I do this thing where it's like, okay, in Orlando, you know what's great? Yeah, I have theme parks in my backyard. And I was thinking about it, it's not just that they're theme parks, it's that there is always something to do. Like, I've been watching how my friends, who have kids here, and what they do, and they literally use these parks as their literal parks, because we don't really have a lot of those like here per se. It's not the same type. It's not like it's not like a Central Park sort of a thing. So it is interesting that sort of. It's weird how you're like, there is always something to do, but there is a thing. I was talking about somebody recently. I can't remember who I was talking to about it, but they were like, they feel like life moves a lot faster here, like time feels faster here. And I told them, I was like, I think it's because of that. I think because there's always a thing to do, that the life of what a person who lives here does, that there's a lot more on the calendar than somebody who lives in like northern Maine, or different types of things to do. I shouldn't say that, because people have different things to do at different times or whatever. But it is sort of that, like, the days are also a little bit longer here, so I feel like we're filling them with more activity. I don't know. Time is relative too, so it's one of those things. But it's sort of that reflecting thing I do. I'll just sit back and think about that, and I'm like, time does feel like it's going faster. But then also, I think you compound that onto the fact that as you get older, time feels faster because, relatively speaking, it is faster, because 1 year when you were 10 years old was like, oh my God, that was a 10th of your life. 1 year when you're 100 years old, that's 100th of your life. And that time difference is like, here's a year then, here's a year then. So, you know what I mean? Like time does literally move faster. I'm going to give myself a panic attack. We can't keep talking about this. You know what I've been watching a lot of? Okay, because I see a question. Dee had a question in here about what's everyone watching. So my best friend, Kim, she is a Law & Order fiend. Her and her husband have seen like every episode of every season of every version of Law & Order. It's always on at their house. It's like white noise in the background and stuff. And apparently Hulu just added a bunch of seasons that until recently weren't really like readily available. You'd have to like buy them or rent them on Amazon, I think. So like seasons 1 through 20 of original Law & Order, and then seasons 1 through 20 of Law & Order SVU are both on Hulu. So I started watching randomly wherever we had been watching when I was there. But so it's McCoy is there. One of the DAs not the DA, but one of the assistant DAs, like his assistant person left. And it's a new girl. But it's got Benjamin Bratt is on it right now, and obviously we still have Lumiere. Did you know this? That Briscoe is the voice of Lumiere? I did not know this until like a couple weeks ago, and I watched a video of him singing with Angela Lansbury, and my mind blew open, because I'm like, this is the guy who's always making jokes about dead bodies on Law & Order. But my God, talk about, no wonder why that show has been on for as long as it is. That's a good show. Like, I knew it was one of those where you're like, any episode you could watch and be like, it's a good episode, but how often can you say that about something that goes on this long? But it's also like crazy to watch these episodes that take place in like I think on the show right now it's like maybe 1997, 1998. So like they just had an episode about paparazzi essentially but with dealing with like the internet and the way they look at it and how they talk about it is so weird. But there's these sort of things. It's crazy because I guess when the show started, New York did not have the death penalty. Then it got the death penalty, and then it no longer has the death penalty. So that's a big thing, like on the show, because every episode they're like, we're taking the death penalty off the table, or some people get the death penalty. But it's a whole examination of all these things where you're like, wow, it's very fascinating. But it is like a rumination on, like, I love the fact that, like, it's many different parts, right? Like, because it's kind of a mystery. It's like the whodunit, and how are they going to find that out? But then it's also within the law, like, how things become inadmissible, or how a screw up can lead to this. But then also, it can sometimes be like, this punishment does not fit this crime, or, and that works in both ways, and it's crazy. Also, Severance has started, finally, 3 years later. Severance Season 2. I think I have to watch all of Season 1 again, though, because I'm at the point where I'm like, I remember big parts of it, but I don't remember a lot of this stuff, and this season, like, picks up right where they left off, and I'm like, oh, shoot. I think I need to rewatch. But it was really good. The first 2 episodes have been great. The second episode was great. Sorry, I'm scrolling through the chat. Lisa Q, I'm sorry, I saw your comment. You said kit lens with a question mark. Kit lens is often, that's what the type of lens they refer to that comes with the camera when it's like bundled as a kit. So that's, I think, where it gets kind of that name, where it'll be like, oh, it's a kit lens. It's like it's the default. It's like the training wheels sort of a thing. I don't know. People look at it condescendingly sometimes, and I'm like, girl, don't you dare judge the tools that people use or anything like that. Sometimes it is just raw talent. Sometimes it is the tool. Sometimes it's a combination. It's just, I don't, Oh, a Lumix LX100 is f1.7. I bet you get some really nice pictures with that one, Mike, at night. Sorry, I think I'm almost caught up. I'm scrolling. Oh. Diane says on the Ampliverse there is an intro to the cast. I don't know, Kate. I don't know where it's going to be available. Well, I mean, it'll be available on the Ampliverse eventually, but I don't know how we're going to do it just yet. The release method. Ryno should come up for Dragon Con in September. I think it's Labor Day weekend. Listen, it's on my list of things I want to do is Dragon Con. It is always, like, every weekend I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it this time. It's something else happened. Like, one time it was like D23. Another time it was the Power Rangers convention. Another time it was a different thing. Maybe this is the year. Maybe this is finally the year. Everybody got moved to BTS. Yeah. Joseph, I see the thing he's talking about, the trick about putting the Fireball in the butterbeer. So they would do that for you, but now you have to, like, buy it separately and mix it because they're like, no, we're not supposed to do that. I actually still haven't done it. I need to try that. But yeah, I stayed at if you haven't seen our work videos on the Diz, I stayed at this Universal Stella Nova resort. So stay tuned. There's more stuff coming out about that on the Diz YouTube channel. Good to see you all. If I had a better house sitter for the dogs, would you be happier there? Is Diane's question. No, is it better? Are you asking if I had a better house sitter or if I had a better house for the dogs, would I be happier? I think if I had literally just this patch of land for the dogs, I think I would be happier because that's my dream. That is my dream right in front of me right now, is that I just want to be able to have an area where I can throw the ball back and forth to Artie. Like that I could just open the door and Rocket can go outside and they can play with each other. You know, like that's just like that sort of a thing. They crave it so much and I wish we had it. And like, the people across the street just moved in over here. One of these houses moved in and out. They have 3 dogs. I don't know that they're bad dog handlers. I don't know that they're whatever. There's another guy who just moved in somewhere right here who has like a Shiba. And he like runs around and runs right up to people with this dog. And I'm just like, you cannot do this. Like, there's garbage everywhere here. Ugh. I do think, you know, obviously if I lived in a different area, I'd feel differently about it. You know, I feel a little more, probably a little more comfortable, I guess is the right word. Because, you know, that's the hard part is like, I think this place just makes me feel trapped, specifically where I live currently. Like it's I'm Disneyland and everywhere outside is Anaheim. I'm landlocked. It's just one of those sort of things. You know, and it could be worse. It could be in a worse neighborhood. It's just, I think my friend Kim puts it in a good way where she's like, it just sounds, and she, I mean, she's been here before, and she's like, you just gotten to the point in your life where it's like dorm living and you don't want to live in a dorm anymore. And I was like, yeah, girl, 100. But I do think I do think like deep down in my heart and soul, I want to live in a place that has a basement someday because I just love a basement or an attic. But not or an attic. I want both. I'm going to be greedy. But if I had to pick one or the other, basement. I want to build, I don't think they're in here. I don't know if they watch this, but his friends Ross and Lana have like built this like cool like bar into their basement. But I always just have this dream of this being like the cool place, like the full circle, like come down, it's New Year's Eve into the basement and it's like the party room or I want it to be the studio. I want to build a studio in there where it's like you can come in and there's a big couch, like one that 2 full-sized adults could lay in and not touch each other and watch, you know, a movie with a nice, like one of those types of TVs that has the light, or you put the light behind it where it, you know, it does that and it'll be nice and dark, but it'll be cool because it's the basement in the summertime, you know, and, you know, it'll be chilly in the winter, but you can wrap up in a blanket. And I want it to be a place though where then like off to the side, like is that where we're recording, where we're doing these Monday night live streams and there's like a little video game corner. Well, the video games, I think those will be with the TV obviously, so everybody can come and play them. But you know, I want it to be like the movie library is down there. So it's like Belle's the Beast's like library except for its movies. And all that like memorabilia is down there, you know, but like classy, placed, and it's got the lighting that it deserves. And I know that's a lot of work, and obviously, you know, it's one of those. I don't know, it's tough, it's hard. I think there's a thing like deep inside where I'm a little bit, not a little bit, I feel it growing, where this fear of you know, I stay where I work and I do what I do because I do like doing this. I like, you know, especially now, and I like the challenge of it. But I have that like fear where it is such a unique thing where it's like, how do you move to the next thing? What is the next thing? How do you move up into that next floor or the next rung of the ladder? Like, how do you get there? I don't know. I don't have an answer, and that's the thing. And I'm like, maybe there isn't. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the top. And it's just like, okay. So it is that kind of like, it's like it's those 2 hands trying to put these 2 hands together, but they're magnets. And you're like, somewhere I like to live, something I like to do, you know. So listen, I like it. I know, everybody's sad, everybody's doesn't like the winter, doesn't like the snow, doesn't like the thing. I like it. I know in the same way that I feel like I get over the warm weather and the heat, I 100% understand that's how you feel about the cold and the winter. And I will tell you, I you know, maybe I just moved too early. I should have waited a little bit longer to have a little bit more of it. Oh yeah, Kate, I forget you're from Massachusetts. It's hard, Kate. So you're kind of describing the same thing that happens in Florida, where it's like, oh, once it cools down, the weather's nice. You're like, oh, this is the weather. This is that perfect weather. But it's so unstable lately. I mean, it's like this everywhere, I guess. It's that up and down. It's just, it's tough. It's hard. I do feel like in that area specifically, or from Massachusetts, like it's like hibernation, and you kind of forget about it because it's like pitch black at 4:30, and then everyone wants to be inside, but then everything's like closed early, and so it really is like a sort of a hunker down and make it to the next day. And so especially if those winters get longer, it's like too much. Um, you went to the Waffle House next to Portofino. That's so funny. Sorry, I'm scrolling through your chat. I did see the trailer for Alien Earth. Did anybody else see that trailer? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't. I read a thing from the creator of the show, Noah. I can't remember his name, but I don't know that I'm as excited for this. Although Timothy Olyphant is in it, and I love me some Timothy Olyphant. For this show, as much as I am for like another Alien Romulus film, which is definitely probably like 5 years away from us, but. If you haven't watched Alien Romulus, I think it's on Hulu now streaming. Definitely recommend that. Very good. The actor who plays like the android brother is so good. And the main girl is really good too. But I like their story a lot. But I was reading that like the director. So Alien Earth takes place 2 years before the original Alien movie, and I was reading that basically, I think he was saying he doesn't consider Prometheus or Covenant canon because he doesn't want to feel like he's like stuck to those or something like that. And I was like, don't violate the continuity of it all. I mean, although those, I don't know how well those do to do that too, but I can't wait. Listen, I love Alien, so I'm all about it. I see White Lotus popping in here as a show to watch. I've only seen season 1. I need to catch up because I know there's another one happening. Movies. Did everyone watch The Substance? Have I told you how incredible The Substance is? Because I will keep saying it. It's incredible. I got to go through and start watching the Oscar movies because I know that Kieran Culkin movie is on Hulu streaming now. We got to do that. That's going to be here before we know it. So Samantha in here says, I need to watch Severance. I became obsessed with The Substance a few weeks ago, and someone told me there were some similarities. I would say there are similarities in terms of it being like you are one, but you are like two separate. And that I can definitely see that sort of theme in there. Not the same though, so you watch out. Don't go in expecting that same sort of vibe or thing. Oh my God, Trisha, that's so funny. She said, I had to let you know that my daughter and I held hands with back scratchers at the Polynesian inspired by you and Hannah. I'm going to take a little screenshot of that so I can send it to Hannah. Oh my God. Trey is going to tell me it's Serial Mom. I know he's going to tell me right now. That's the movie. Yes, and Kate Rose, to answer your question about the Universal hotels, we're going to be at each one of the 3 of them the day they open for like a couple of days. And Atlanta has basements. Listen, Trey, Atlanta crossed my mind because they have a booming film industry, like insanely booming. And obviously there's a lot of culture and diversity there, which is something I also want. And the only thing is, it's in the state of Georgia. And that's how I feel about being like, oh, Orlando. Well, it's in the state of Florida. Oh, Austin, Texas. This is a great place. It's in the state of Texas. You know what I mean? Like, pros and cons everywhere. I'm telling you, this YouTube channel is going to become me building a media center. We're going to manifest it. We're not complaining. We're manifesting. We're going to do that. We're going to reframe it, right? So we're going to manifest this. We're going to... I saw a thing that was like, I wanted to do it at New Year's, we just kind of ran out of time. Instead of like vision boards, we're doing the ins and outs. And it's a way to be like, okay, what are you letting in? but what are you pushing out? So like for me, it's like I want to create art without the use of AI. You know, not that I've ever created art with AI, because I don't. That's basically just ripping people off. And it's sort of like the outs AI. You know, the ins human art. Sort of that sort of thing. Your husband is just drum set in there. I'm sure the house, you get the little bit of a Jurassic Park vibrating water from that. Speakeasy in the basement, I'm telling you right now, Newcastle man, that's my jam. Invite me over for that. Oh, thank you, Diane. I see the other comment about doing great on the Diz. I appreciate that. Someone redo my basement. That's the thing. I think the other part is you got to get a basement that's like a good base. So when the house I grew up in, we had a family room, and that was like right at the right like on the foundation level. Like so it was like the yard went like this a little bit. So the upstairs you did come in the front door right here, but the back door you did go right out on the land right there too. Not a split level ranch because that's different. But so like we didn't really have a basement per se. However, the way the house I grew up in was set up, it would have been perfect because that room could have been like, it was a really long room. It could have been a dog's room. I mean, it had a yard too, but it was like, I think about that house because I'm like, that house, that could have had a studio built into the basement or whatever. I don't know. It was weird. The house my like mom has now, I think would have been good. Would have a good like studio. I'd be able to build a good studio in the basement. I mean, they finished the rooms after I moved out in their basement, but they're technically not livable spaces. Diane, listen. Any day you want to play the holiday, and we'll do it for real. I'll shovel snow. I'll shovel snow for the basement. We'll shovel snow for basement. I think I'm with you, Jay. I think the snowbird life is ultimately where I'm destined to be because it's like I don't want the dead of the summer here and I don't want the dead of the winter there necessarily. But the winters, I don't know. I think it's because of having been away so long, it doesn't feel the same anymore to me. No, I missed the Harry Potter thing in Boston. I saw that it was there. I think the thing with seasonal depression, which I definitely suffered from in Massachusetts, I definitely had it in Massachusetts. No question about that. I knew that for sure, for 100%. I think what's weird here is that I think I have it all the time here because it is like warm all the time. I think I've just found that sweet spot of like I like to be here, I like to be here. And I'm not asking to be buried in snow and like, I just want to know it could snow. Listen, Shiva, I'll start another Siskel and Ebert show if I have to. I'd do that. Oh, if your husband likes David Cronenberg, The Substance is right up his alley. But if you do not like body horror, you're gonna need like a pillow to look into or hide away from or something like that. Oh, it's funny. Did someone create a new name in the chat just to be called Basement Bygones and we're just talking about basements or something like that? I think that's hilarious. Okay. I have to go. Oh, I got the link for the BL thing. We're just going to throw this in the chat. Oh, wait. He sent it to me twice. Oh, if this is the third time, I swear to God, I'm going to block him. Yeah, okay, so the URL is... Okay, GoFundMe.com/EatCuteBL. Jay, you were saying it's January through March. Okay, I've been thinking about this, okay, because I've been thinking about it here. I was thinking about the Christmas lights coming down and the trees coming down and stuffing like that. Um, why do we do that? Why do we pull that down so early? I understand that we put it up and Christmas is over, and that's why we want to pull it down. But here's the thing. What's better than like all these, when all the houses are lit up with lights and all these Christmas lights and everything like that? You know that the winter doesn't even start till December 21st? Why? And it's crazy to me that we take all these lights and stuff down when the worst of the winter is January, February, and March. The tree, whatever, that's okay, I guess. Take the ornaments off the tree. Leave the tree with the lights. Leave the lights outside. I think if we did that, I think seasonal depression would be easier to deal with. It's almost like Christmas is too early, too. If Christmas was like February, I think it would be better because you'd be like, oh, we'll leave December, we'll have a big New Year celebration, and then we'll have, the January, and then once we get to February, we're like, okay, here it comes Christmas, and then right after Christmas, we're like, we're almost there, we made it, and now it's the spring. So I feel like we need to come up with a new holiday that requires lights, or like a celebration, like sort of a Festivus situation, but we have to do it. It has to be like right smack dab in it has to be like February 15th. Well, February 14th, I guess, Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day, and then Lights Day. Or we just make it February 28th. And I say we just like leave them up. Leave them up, babies. And I would say, because that's the thing, like, take down all the Christmassy stuff, the stuff, the Santa hats, the, whatever, the ornaments and stuff, but like leave up all those lights everywhere. Put those lights on with that tree. Will you still have the fire going because of that and stuff? I say it keeps the vibe going because, hello, I don't understand. We're taking it down. But the thing is, in Massachusetts lately, it barely even snows before Christmas that often. So I'm like, let's keep them up while it's snowing and everything because it looks best when it's snowing. I don't know. I just love it. And that's the thing. I'm like, then we can all get those like fun picturesque moments and thing. I don't know. That's why. So we should do it all where it's like, sorry, I got my haircut today and I'm feeling the back of my hair. I'm like, oh God, did they miss a spot? I feel like I've got a little spot right here where I'm like, uh-oh. But here's what we do. We do the multicolored lights from November to the end of December, and then January, February into March, we do the white warm glow lights, so they keep us light. So that's the thing. It should be like the changing of the light celebrates the holiday season or something like that. Just leave them up though. That's what I'm going to tell you right now. I have this like net lighting that I put over the edge of my loft, and I sometimes just turn it. I left it up all year because I was like, I basically have a bed sheet hanging over the loft that keeps like, because I don't know who designed this place, but the side of this wall, so it is a loft, but the whole part of the wall over there, it's slatted gate. So I could reach my whole arm through. And so I put like stuff in it. I put like a board up to block it, and then I put this sheet over it. I should have wrapped the sheet in the board and put it behind there because I'm like, what kind of asshole does like a fenced thing on a loft? You drop one thing and it falls down into the kitchen table. One thing, and then shatters your kitchen table if you have a glass table. Like, it hits a dog in the head and kills your dog. Like, Jesus. So I put the lights over there because I was like, at Christmas, I was like, oh, these would be nice. But then I was like, you know what? No, I'm leaving them up. I don't even care. I don't care. Ask me if I care. I don't care. Okay. I do have to go because I've done this a little bit longer than I intended to. I'm still not done with work. And, I have a lot to do. I have a lot to do that's catching up with me real quick. But I do appreciate all of you. I thought this was only going to go for like 20 minutes or something like that today. So this one way longer than I thought it was going to. I guess you all keep me talking, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of you. Wait, so are there two people in the same household in this chat? Megan and Newcastle? The saddest movie marathon you can think of. Oh my gosh, that's the Super Bowl. That's funny. Have you seen those things? Oh, Mark. Okay, Mark. Yeah. There's you could get permanent lights from that, like that'll just change, so they can just stay white, or they can be like all pink for Valentine's Day, or all green for St. Patrick's Day, or whatever. And I'm like, that's my investment. That's where my gold will be. All right, I am, so I'm not. I know at the beginning I was saying about the lives. I am telling you right now that I have every intention in my body. I carry this little camera with me everywhere. I am going to start doing videos outside of this particular spot. I will still do the live chats and stuff like that, so don't worry, those aren't going to go away. Even if there's a space and time, or it's like, you know, I don't do them every week, or they do every other week, but I promise you, we'll keep them going. And I promise you, more videos are coming. So I have stuff. It's just about finding the time to edit it. There isn't enough time in the day. But you're all amazing. Thank you for making me feel a little better. I wasn't feeling great today, so thank you for that. And just remember, be kind to each other. And for those of you dealing with that, dealing with those not the summertime sadness, dealing with that seasonal affective disorder, I got you, babies. We're going to keep doing this. Sorry, there's something in my eye. I don't know where I was going with that. I lost it. Now I've poked my eye. Okay. All right, I'm going to go before I do any more damage to myself. All right. You're all amazing. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you soon.